In Jesus' day, the Jewish thinking was that the source of spiritual impurity was always an external matter. You did not wash your hands, and therefore you were, for example, defiled, or you slept with a prostitute and you were defiled. The Pharisees had in fact accused Jesus' disciples of defilement because they did not wash their hands before eating, therefore breaking a tradition and therefore defiling themselves. The Pharisees had perfected a system of external righteousness, but they had a shallow concept of purity, because in Mark chapter 7 verse 23, Jesus turns it all upside down and makes a revolutionary statement in his day, and still revolutionary. He says, all these evil things come from within, and they defile a person. In other words, Jesus redefines the source of spiritual impurity to be from within, not from without. If you eat something impure, it passes through the stomach and out of the body, but it does not pass through your heart. It cannot defile your heart. And so Jesus teaches, as I've said, that defilement does not come from external things, but inwardly from the heart. The real spiritual battlefield is internal. The source of what ruins us is not what happens outside of us, but what we allow to grow and fester within us. In fact, Jesus lists a catalogue of human evil in verses 21 to 22. He lists evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. These are things wallowing up out of the heart. And what's interesting is the introductory term for the list, evil thoughts, actually translates literally to evil dialogue. It is the inward speak of your heart that is the precursor to that which may defile you. It is within, not without, therefore, where the transformation must begin, not with external behavior modification, but with the reformation of the heart. As long as you and I believe the problem is out there, we will never face the truth of what's going on in here. We do things, all of us, hurtful things, selfish things, destructive things. And if we haven't confronted our inner life, we will assume that these actions were caused by someone or someone else or something else. And we will say, that's just how life goes. It is what it is. They made me do it. I had no choice. But Jesus says, the source for your selfishness is within. And if you are to be truly healed, you must go inward. So often, relationships that are broken are resolved externally. Two Christian friends are asked to reconcile and shake hands, and they do, and there's hugs and kisses. Or a husband and a wife are asked to make peace, and they do, and there are hugs and kisses. But the problem is that most often than not, the two friends and the husband and the wife have not changed internally. They have not first been responsible towards themselves so as to be responsible to each other. They have just taken the external quick fix of resolving the matter by reconciling, which isn't a bad thing. But if there is not internal change, the pattern of passive and active violence that led to the breaking up will repeat itself. If we are to resolve our broken relationships and sinful patterns in our lives, we are all going to have to first and independently look to the evil within ourselves, to face ourselves in the mirror and not to walk away. I tell you this, to face yourself in the mirror and not to walk away is the scariest thing you can do. Jesus quotes Isaiah in verse 6. He says, this people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Again, it's referring to the hypocrisy of the matter, the external not aligning itself to the internal. And there it is again, the heart. You can follow all the rules, look completely put together. You can reconcile externally and still have a heart full of corruption. It's not enough to look holy and to do the right thing. You must be made holy, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And I guess this is where so many well-believing believers falter. We think transformation starts with better habits or better friends or better churches or better filters on social media. But none of these things can touch the root. They're external. The good news is, though, that Jesus does not leave us in our inner chaos. He does not expose the heart in order to shame us, but to heal us. When he says that evil comes from within, it's not condemnation. It is, in essence, if you think it through, a glorious invitation. He's saying, let me into the place where the real battle is. So please do not get me wrong. The gospel is not a self-improvement plan. It is in fact a heart transplant in the one sense. In Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 26, God promises, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Jesus came to fulfill that promise. But what I'm saying is, to those of you who are born again especially, face your inner world and bring that which is evil to the throne of God, to the mercy throne of God. Jesus enters the darkness of our inner life, not to condemn us, but to recreate us. But we must surely partake responsibly and honestly. And when he changes your heart, my heart, everything else changes. The way we see people, the way we react under pressure, the way we love and forgive and even suffer. But we must be in a place of awareness so that we can bring that which needs to be brought to the throne of mercy, understanding that it is God by the power of his Holy Spirit who changes us. It's not a self-improvement plan. It's a bringing of ourselves before God who has his own plan. So, we need to practice awareness. We need to start noticing our thoughts and our reactions and our desires. We have to ask ourselves, what is the real reason for the way I feel, the way I think? And so if you hear that, do not rush past your inner world or numb it out. Ask God to help you see what's beneath the surface. And stop pretending. If you're pretending, bring whatever it is into the light by bringing it before God. Confession isn't just telling God you sinned, it's inviting him to come in and to transform your heart. And for that, I also say pursue healing. And this may involve therapy, it may involve spiritual direction, it may involve deep times of prayer, but don't be afraid to face the inner world, to face your neurosis, to deal with it, because in the end, at the end of it all, Jesus has got this. Live from the inside out. Once God begins to heal the heart, let the transformation overflow. Don't go back to performance religion if you were there, or to external performance. Live authentically, grounded in grace and mercy. I close. On my Facebook page is a quote by Andre Gide, which reads as follows: it is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. I'm going to say that again. It's better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. I love that. So many of us are loved for what we are not. Because if people knew our true internal world and heart, they may, in actual fact, hate us. But journeying with Jesus is always a journey away from hypocrisy, away from a disconnect between your internal and your external. It's always a journey towards authenticity. And I tell you this, when you are in an authentic place, you are free. True journeying with Jesus forces us to look inward, and once we have done that, to cling to the throne of mercy, to call upon grace, and to rely on Him to change and renew our hearts. It's scary, it's painful, but I tell you, when He changes your heart, it is the most precious and the most sweet thing. It is a great and glorious thing for a man of God or a woman of God to live authentically with Him. May God bless you so.